So, Sunday's results show in the Barclays Premier League. This video will complete match day 8. There's no fixtures tomorrow, and there won't be any for about 2 weeks as we're going on an international break. The first match then was at the Hawthorns. It was West Bromwich Albion versus Spurs. Gareth Bale selected to start for Spurs. That's the first time that's happened. Moura on the bench. Ndombele in midfield. Winks on the bench. And for the Baggies, Jovanovic unavailable because of a COVID positive test. Early action. Robertson had a shot which was easy for Lloris in the first couple of minutes. And then on 12 minutes, the first real chance for the Korean Son, but he took too much time, and by the time he got his shot away, it was 17 minutes. What have we got? Another good opportunity for Grant from a cross, but again, poor direction, went wide. 25 minutes, Robertson managed to get to the byline and chipped over a tantalising cross, and Dyer was alert and headed it away from the Spurs goal line. So that was a little bit of a let-off for Spurs. 31 minutes, Albion having the better of things, but still no cutting edge up front. Livermore 33 had a shot, but it was high and wide. Two efforts from the right corner for Bale. The second one, he just failed to get a touch to a tantalising cross from the right flank from Ndombele. So that was it for the first half, goalless. After the break, things were looking much the same, really. Bale, again an opportunity from a Kane cross, but it went to safety. Reganon, 58 minutes, had a couple of shots. The first was punched clear by Johnson, and the second one just went too high. It was generally a pretty poor spectacle, it has to be said. Mourinho put on Lo Celso on 66 minutes, and again from 6 yards he managed to skirm his shot wide. 68 minutes up the other end, Gallagher, a shot which was a whisker off target. Lloris stood and watched it go past his goal. If it had been on target, it would have definitely been a goal. 17 minutes, West Bromwich's Krovinovic from a corner, and Fountain hit the post. Again, Lloris wasn't really anticipating that, but the follow-up went wide of the target. So we were getting now towards the latter part of the contest. Bale came off on 77, replaced by Moura. Son was still ineffective. Kane had been trying to do his best, but there was little to get too worked up about at either end, really. And then Vinicius, who'd come on, he had a shot from the edge of the box, and Johnson had to be alert. That was 82 minutes. And then a few minutes later, a speculative cross, it has to be said, from the right by Doherty, found Kane, and he managed to dink it with his head over the advancing Johnson, and it hit the back of the net. And amazingly, Spurs had taken the lead. Well, frantic efforts from Albion to get on parity failed, and the final whistle came, and Spurs were able to celebrate a victory by the narrowest of margins, and also they were about to go top of the league. So final score at the Hawthorns, West Bromwich Albion 0, Spurs 1. Second match up then was at King Power Stadium, Leicester at home to Wolves. Both sides in pretty good form. Leicester had another strong win in Europa League. Team news: Evans back at the heart of defence, and Maddison selected from the start. He hasn't been selected from the start since he's come back from that hip problem. But here he was, Barnes sitting it out. No Perez, not even on the bench. Not sure what that one means. But we've got Fofana in at the back for Rodgers' troops. For Wolves, Neto and Podence retained on the wings. Still no room for Traore or Moutinho, who are both on the bench. And no Saiss either. I think he's got a slight knock. It was a pretty fast pace through the first 6 minutes. And then 13 minutes, one of those ridiculous VAR decisions. A cross from the right hit Kilman right on the arm. There's not a lot he could have done to get out of the way, but the penalty was awarded and Jamie Vardy stepped up, and that was 1-0. 19 minutes, another opportunity for Vardy, but he just failed to connect from a Pratt cross. Long period of possession for Leicester. Fuchs hit just wide on 31. First effort from Wolves came on 34, but it came to nothing. And then 37, Justin ran into the box, and he was brought down by the young left back for Wolves. I think it was only his second game, Atamari, and this was a clear penalty, unlike the previous one. But this time Vardy tried to repeat the prescription, and Patricio had guessed right, and his body, or part of it anyway, managed to hit him, and it went wide. So half-time 1-0 for Leicester. Brighton came on for Thomas at the break, and then the second half, well, it has to be said, things moved around a little bit. Tielemans and Semedo both wasted chances, but Wolves were much more on the front foot, and Fofana, he looks good in the heart of the defence alongside Evans, was really looking very impressive. He's also pretty good at going forward and managed to feed Vardy on 52, and the shot was tipped behind for a corner. 54 minutes, a quick break by Neto. His strike though was a bit tame, with Schmeichel grabbing it solidly. The same the same player was brought down by Evans on the edge of the box, but Neved's effort was over the bar. Semedo free kick found Kilman, but he was offside, so that didn't count. And then Traore came on, and he started to try and inject some more pace. Got a crossing from the byline, but no one there in the middle. Jimenez had a very quiet game, has to be said. And then 76 minutes, a tremendous shot from Neves from outside the box, and a superb save from the big Dane Schmeichel, tipping it over. Late on, Dendolka had an opportunity, but it went wide. Barnes had come on, and his shot was deflected off Kilman over the bar. Wolves had looked much more tidier in that second half, but lacked a little bit of penetration up front. Leicester managed to hold on. They just about deserved it, I think. It wasn't a classic, that's for certain. Technically good plays, but not too much excitement. But it was enough to put Leicester at the top of the Premier League. Final score at the King Power Stadium then, Leicester 1, Wolves 0. Unlike the other two matches, the match of the round at the Etihad, Manchester City versus Liverpool, I didn't stay up to watch this one. I love my beauty sleep too much. But I did see some very brief highlights this morning, and it was brief. So not a lot of detail here. Mane was brought down by a foolish challenge by Walker early on, and Mo Salah stepped up to give Liverpool the lead. Jesus was looking bright, and he managed to do some magic in the box following good approach work by De Bruyne and Gundogan, and slotted home the equaliser. De Bruyne again sort of had a half chance, but it went wide. Arnold had a shot which was grasped by Edison at the second attempt. The half-time score was 1 each. Not a lot to say about the second half. A De Bruyne shot well over. A Jesus header also over. Didn't see any highlight of Liverpool in that second half, but Klopp will probably be quite happy with a point. Guardiola, well, they needed the points more than Liverpool. The result of this, of course, is that Liverpool don't go back to the top of the table. But having said all that, he's probably relieved. Though it looks like there might be an injury for the right back, Arnold, which is a worry given all the other injuries around at Anfield. So final score at the Etihad then, Manchester City 1, Liverpool. So final match of the round at the Emirates. Arsenal home to Aston Villa. Villa gone off the boil a little bit. Arsenal, of course, won in the Europa League, and of course they won at Old Trafford. So their form has improved a bit. But again, I watched highlights of this, and there was a tremendous early action from Villa. Grealish managed to get near the byline and fed McGuinn, who rushed in and hit a rocket of a shot into the top of the net. But then it was ruled out for an offside by another player, which was a shame really, because it was the Chelsea player, Barkley, who just stepped into an offside position. So the goal was chalked off. A lucky escape for the Gunners. I wonder how many times I'll be saying that this season. 24 minutes though. Villa, who were looking the better side, Trezeguet managed to finish from a great cross by Target after again Grealish and Bartley were involved in some real intricate short passing down by the touchline on the left-hand side. The result was Trezeguet completed the move and put Villa in front by a 1-0. 38 minutes, Party shot wide. He's a new player for Arsenal. I don't know him very well. And then 40 minutes, Lacazette headed over. And that was about it for the first. So to second half action then. Leno managed to block another effort from Trezeguet. 48 minutes, Willian had an effort, but wow, he nearly hit the corner flag. 60 minutes, Holding had a half a chance, but again the effort went a bit wide of the mark. And then on 71 minutes, a volley cross from Bartley, who'd been fed once again by the ever impressive Grealish, and Watkins was at home to head home. It was a tremendous move. Villa had doubled their lead. They were 2 up now. And 3 minutes later, Grealish again. What an impressive player this boy is. He fed Watkins, who got his second, and that completed the scoring. Arsenal, a pretty dismal performance all in all. Didn't really see Aubameyang. Lacazette isn't firing. And Villa back to that form that absolutely destroyed Liverpool a month back. So the final score then at the Emirates was Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 3.